Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, and you know, today is a busy, busy sports day. And I mean, I'm talking about all across all the sports. We even have baseball news with Pete Alonso getting his deal done, but you know, the NBA trade deadline is today. Tonight, do y'all realize we have the NFL awards coming out?
And Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm going to be talking about. Eli Manning's probably nice little Hall of Fame moment.
I hope so.
That's what we're thinking, maybe.
Hope so.
Going to have to do this and pose the question to you today, but at 12 o'clock, we're talking with the great Evie Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk. The Rebel Walk, by the way, your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information. We are going to have to pose the question. And it does kind of drive me crazy because, again, his left tackle, David Deal, who coaches over at the University of Memphis, I've actually posed this question to him because I think it's foolish. But he talks about Eli Manning in very high regards. And, of course, he should. He's got 2 big, fat Super Bowl rings. In 2 Super Bowls, he beat the great, the GOAT, the Tom Brady, which is absolutely ridiculous when you think about it inside of itself. Those crazy drives. Now, you did have the wild David Tyree catch on the helmet. But David Deal reminded me of something. They should have had 3 Super Bowls. If Plaxico Burress doesn't shoot himself in the leg.
That's right.
That season was looking Gucci for him, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
But to play devil's advocate and to incorporate all of you wonderful people who I'm loving more and more every day.
I love the interaction.
I'm now, well, you know what? You know me.
People interacting a lot. I love it.
I'm slow to come around to certain things. But I've come around to, I love the Sissy's Log Cabin text and listener line. Yeah. Life is too short for ordinary jewelry. Their jewelry's fine, by the way.
They like Darian more than me, and so they're interacting more that I'm not producing your show anymore. I think that's probably the reason.
Probably, maybe. Yeah. I don't know,
no,
actually.
It's okay.
I don't know if that's definitely the fact, but you know what? If you were,
if I was betting, man.
If you were making out these certain equations, you're a betting man. That would definitely be one of the factors you have to, go inside and ask yourself. But again, back to Eli Manning. Tonight we're going to find out the MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, yada, 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 yada. I'm going to go ahead and read my crystal ball. I'm going to be like Miss Chloe from back in the day. If you called up, she'll look in the crystal ball. I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win. We're going to talk NFL news. We got to talk also about Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, and some of the haters. Are they out there hating and they should be actually realizing, damn, man, we watching history. Nobody's ever three-peated in the National Football League. Nobody. Ever, 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 ever. Nobody's made it back to the Super Bowl. They've made it to the AFC and NFC championship games, but nobody after winning 2 in a row has made it back to the Super Bowl. You realize this is their 5th Super Bowl in 6 years. It's pretty nasty. Going to talk some Chiefs. But now let me get back to the question. At the Sissy Log Cabin text and listen to line 901-360-8255. Eli Manning. If his name was Eli Cooter.
Okay.
Eli Smith, or I like kind of like Eli Cooter. Remember Jim Bob Cooter?
Sure.
If his name is Eli Cooter, is he in the Hall of Fame? Because some people say to me, and again, it definitely wasn't David. Again, David says, who makes those fourth quarter, those drives at the biggest moments, wins 2 Super Bowls, cool, calm, and collected. He played on some great Giants team. He played on some pretty average Giants teams. And a lot of people who look at the statistics come out and say things like, well, his career record is 117 and 117. In 16 seasons, do you know how many Pro Bowl selections he had? All pro selections. I'm sorry, not Pro Bowl. All pro selections in 16 NFL seasons?
8.
0.
Wow.
He had only 4 Pro Bowl. Got bowl on my mind. 4 Pro Bowl trips, but no all pro selections. Never sniffed the MVP, by the way. Never. Like, do you ever remember that year you were like, damn, man, he's going to win the MVP this year? No, that did not happen.
I do love that idea, John. I guess it really only would be used for the Manning family. I can't think of anybody else, right now at least, that it would be used for, of take their last name out and replace it with somebody else.
I mean, like, realistically, I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like, what other family right now is just out there, all they do is win, win, no matter what? The big ones, anyway. But Eli never did sniff an MVP. And I do really pose this question to our texters, and I want to ask you this. Do you remember the year that you thought he was a top 5 quarterback? Do you remember the year that you said, damn, 100% he's one of the best 10 quarterbacks on planet Earth? Longevity has to play a role. Obviously, his resume in the postseason, on those Super Bowl runs, the fact he beat Tom Brady, the 2 drives, the big throw, standing tall in the pocket and making some damn clutch throws. Being a leader of that team. But if his name was Eli Cooter, is he right now would he be celebrating his Hall of Fame career tonight? And then don't even hear half of Eli's interceptions were tipped by his own receiver, Shane. I mean, that's, I hear you, Shane. Again, I want to feel what y'all feel. I'm going to talk about this with Evie. I can pretty much give you a damn guarantee. I'm not going to bring out every damn statistic. I'm not going to come out there and throw everything at you. I want to see what you bring to the table. I'm going to ask Evie how she feels. And the reason I'm asking, because again, Ole Miss, I love Ole Miss. So I got them shades on. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Eli Manning, hell yeah.
Especially your new friendship. You've got to.
With David,
exactly, you're hearing all that stuff about you. You're like, oh, this guy's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
And by the way, this man is also one of the, by the way, if you don't know David, he's works with the University of Memphis. He's out there on the recruiting trail tearing it up, getting some big boys. They make them bigger in Texas. Lord have mercy.
Do they? Everything's bigger in Texas,
16-year-old kid took a picture next to David, who's like 6'8".
Oh, he's a giant.
He made David look small. You know what I'm talking about? David is a giant. Made David look small. It's hard to do.
It's crazy.
But again, my daughter cheers at Ole Miss. My oldest daughter graduated from Ole Miss. I got that Ole Miss fever. I was down in Oxford watching them kick Kentucky's ass on Tuesday night. So I need to know what y'all think. Because again, you know what pops? Not the interceptions. When you think about Eli's career, do you know what pops?
What's that?
Them damn Super Bowls, bro.
That's exactly right.
That's what pops. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Again, 12 o'clock, Evie from the Rebel Walk's going to come on. We're going to talk about what's going on with some of the football players, the new ones that are coming in, the ones that are getting ready for a little Pro Bowl, getting ready for a little NFL Combine action. We definitely got to talk a little SEC hoops as Ole Miss, got a very, very big win. Did you know that Ole Miss on Tuesday night when they beat Kentucky had never in their history been favored over Kentucky?
Wow.
Never.
I did not know that.
Not only that, and do you know how I know this is 100% facts? Because I got it from Stats Norsworthy, Brett Norsworthy, who I can promise you is talking to the head statistician for Ole Miss. Never had been favored over Kentucky. They were a 4.5-point favorite. They covered. They won. They scored 98 points on Kentucky because that defense is terrible. But that first half of basketball was the best, most efficient offensive output in Ole Miss basketball history. So we'll definitely talk about that with Evie Van Pelt as well. Baseball season's around the corner. What's up
next
with
week,
that?
next Friday.
I mean, it's like
and
I
they're
said,
starting with
around
the
the
tournament.
corner. Yeah, they're over in with Texas or something?
Arlington. They're going to play at Globe Life.
Okay, man, damn, you on this bad boy?
I like college baseball a lot. I just like baseball a lot. But I
I
like
love college baseball, but you don't even understand until actually Mississippi State, when you had Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark down there. College baseball wasn't even on the stratosphere, the map,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, like how much it's grown is crazy. Crazy.
Arizona next Friday, 3:00. Be there, be square.
In Arlington?
In Arlington.
Dude, I came in Arlington, man, next Friday, bro, so I'm square.
Be square. Then Texas, SEC game in the second game of the season. How about that?
That's right. We do get to see how that little SEC action opens up. But Evie's at 12, Ole Miss, Eli Manning. Let me know what you think. Also, today's Thursday. We get to talk with Isaac Simpson.
Trade deadline. Love to get to with Isaac.
Damn, Isaac's thumbs have got to be bleeding. You know what I'm saying? My man's putting out work, putting out content, answering people's tweets. He's all up in it. He's already put out Grizzlies. He feels like there's something coming underneath the surface. Maybe it comes in the next 15 minutes, but if it don't, Isaac's going to look like Miss Chloe, and he's going to read the future of the Grizzlies. Plus, we're going to talk about the mad things that have already gone on in the NBA. Got a question for you, Dacus, and I know in your little life it definitely has been. And I mean that in a very nice way. I wish I was young as well. I mean, little, not like little polo league. I mean, little few years that you've been on the earth. Is this one of the craziest trade deadlines that you've ever seen in your entire life?
Absolutely. Even before Jimmy Butler got traded.
It started with like a seismic shift.
Exactly.
Luka, AD.
Exactly.
And again, I didn't even know this was a question. I didn't even know people were asking who won the trade.
Yeah. I mean, please.
Lakers
won the deadline. Did you see what they did last night?
Yes, they go in and get the little damn Williams boy. Who's
Mark Williams, yeah.
Dude, who's a little freaking, guys just keeps rising. How many put on Grizzlies' face?
Like 32. He's incredible.
Goes out there and he dunks. He can defend. He's a high flyer. He's a big, big boy.
And supposedly they asked Luka.
And he's got that dog in him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I loved watching him at Duke. So supposedly the reporting is that they got Luka in. Now they need a center. They go to Luka and say, "What kind of center do you want us to go get?" Because, I really, it's y'all's decision, but I am better when I have like a guy that can,
like
a center
Derek
that
Lively.
can run, that can get up. Yeah, kind of like Derek Lively, a kind of high flyer, plays above the rim type of guy. And they go, "Okay, we can make that happen." And they go get Mark Williams. Mark Williams, how about this? He has a longer standing reach than Victor Wembanyama. His standing reach is 9 feet 9 inches.
So that's just him standing with his feet flat on the ground. Flat on the ground. Flat on the ground. His feet are flat on the ground, ladies and gentlemen.
In the air.
And his arm in the air. And you said it's 9'8"?
9'9".
9'9".
And Victor's like 9'7", I think.
Man, you know what it is Victor ain't got broad shoulders.
That's very true.
That's what it is, man.
That's very true.
Them little tiny shoulders.
That's right.
But man, that boy can run. He does look like a
scarecrow.
giraffe.
He does look like a giraffe.
Do you know how many little people it takes to make a Victor Wembanyama?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to know.
We learned this on Tuesday. You didn't listen to my show?
I didn't. We already had this conversation off air.
1.9.
Okay.
I put the over and under, I think, at 2.5. Oh, by the way, man, you would not believe how many emails from little people I'm getting.
Wow.
Like
they're fans.
They're excited.
Or not.
No, they're fired up, dude. They're sending me their resumes.
Oh, I see.
Little polo league, little jousting is still in effect. But the trade deadline has been one of the craziest in the world. And we talked about Luka. We talked about AD. Again, I have no idea what the Dallas Mavericks are doing. Lakers have done something that I didn't know Rob Pelinka actually was really good at his job. I mean, is he good at his job?
I guess so.
Sure looks like he did a good job of saving this. Wow. And he has to deal with LeBron too, you know? I do have to say, actually, LeBron's been handling this in the media extremely well.
The GOAT. The GOAT.
And at 40 years old, the things he's doing is so crazy, even I can't talk ish about him. You know what I'm saying?
Darian, who will be here momentarily, thank the Lord. I'm kidding. He said it would take 4.
No, he is wrong. Do the math. The average little person is 4 feet tall. Remember, Darian? The 4 was I have no idea what the number was there for, but what is 4 feet plus 4 feet? That would be 8 feet. It's 7 point.
He says 4 times 1.9 little people. Can I say that? I don't know.
No. Yeah, of course you can say little people. Dude, Dacus, this is okay. I'm tight with the community.
I'll let y'all do this.
I'm the Wilt Chamberneezy of the little people community,
Darian said,
bro.
"Oh yeah, you're right."
But the whole thing is not only did we have the big news of Luka and AD already, now Jimmy Buckets, the malcontent down in Miami, who is a little bit older, 35 years old, and this year hasn't had that great, hasn't been all Gucci. Well, he's now a Golden State Warrior. A lot of it had to do with Kevin Durant saying, I don't want to be in Golden State, which is kind of shocking.
So I thought about this yesterday, John. I don't think it's shocking. Because here's the thing. There is no other player, maybe in professional sports, that actually gives
two bleeps.
A hoot.
He doesn't care what anybody thinks, and I don't blame him.
No, Kevin Durant does.
Oh, you think he does?
Oh, my gosh. Kevin Durant, the guy that has multiple burners, and, we know for a fact he has burners about how good he is. Kevin Durant cares so much about what random people on social media think about him.
You know what? I need to back that up because you're 100% on that. I forgot about the burner. But what I mean is, for some reason, he doesn't like his idea of going back to the Warriors.
Well, he let me finish. So when he went to Golden State, everyone was saying he had to join this super team to get a ring. He what did
couldn't do it in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Charles Barkley was always saying he's riding the bus, he's not driving the bus.
Dude, did you see what he did though at Golden State?
So he was fantastic at Golden State. So then he hears all that. He goes, I can do this by myself. He leaves, struggles, and now the idea is back out there of you could go back to Golden State. They want you. Phoenix is open to moving you. And he says, I don't want to do that. And I think a big reason is because he knows if he goes back to Golden State, everyone's going to be screaming, well, he knew he couldn't do it. See, this shows he's not that great. He's not the great player that he always thought he was because he had to go back to Golden State.
Stank is not really his fault.
Oh, I think Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the league. I love Kevin Durant. He is unbelievable. Yeah, it's a shame that he had to go play in Brooklyn, and then it's a shame he goes to Phoenix, and the big three is the most fragile big three I've ever seen in my life, and they had nobody else around them.
James Harden at that time, by the way, was a little nuts. I mean, they had a bunch of injury problems. That whole thing fell apart so fast with Kyrie, Harden, and my man KD.
Yeah.
That thing that imploded.
Exactly.
But do you think he's still on the move today?
No.
So he's down.
I think Phoenix. I read something last night that said Phoenix is very content with just sticking with what they have and trying to make a push with what they've got.
Well, I will tell you, last night, the Thunder just love to sleepwalk with people and then open up a can of whip ass when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dort can shut anybody down. This dude defensively is ridiculous.
He's a good player.
And I don't know if y'all know. Have you heard of that guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Have you ever seen him? He just dropped 50 last night on everybody's face. He made it look easy. The game is super, super tight at halftime. In the third quarter, the Thunder, when I say beat up the Suns. Now, KD didn't play last night, by the way, everybody. Just also had to throw that one out there, because I forgot. I don't think I said that, but that's what made me think of it talking about KD.
Right.
The Thunder, though, impressed me. Whenever I watch them, they scare the hell out of me because when they want to and they put up that defensive pressure and the way how easy it is for Shai to score. 43-16 on the Suns in the third quarter. OV, game's over. Over. They were down by 12 points at one point. The Thunder were. Did you know that they've been down 17 times this year by double digits and have won, I think, 13 of those games? Isn't that nuts?
That is
nuts. Back to the trade deadline, though. We didn't even mention De'Aaron Fox now teaming up with Wemby.
I'm sorry. I wanted to just throw this out there about SGA. I had to pull it up so I could make sure my facts were right. Last night was the third time in the last 7 games that SGA has scored 50 or more points. 3 times in the last 7 games. It's crazy.
Yeah, he is. Let's just say ridiculous. I love the way he does it though, because he's not like De'Aaron Fox. He's not going 100 miles an hour.
Right.
He's almost like the Matrix. Like, not like where he's so fast, but you know how like they're moving so fast, like it almost looks like it's kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't watch that game, did you?
No, I was watching.
There was
Tigers
a
and
play that
Grizzlies.
somehow he like literally tiptoed backwards down the sideline, would step out of bounds, wouldn't touch the ball, then jump down, put his feet back in, dribble, dribble, dribble. Guys trying to steal the ball, step back out of bounds, then jump back in, get his feet in, dribble, dribble, run around the corner, pull it up, and put it right in the dude's eyeball. It was like one of the craziest. Like, I was like, there's no way he was in bounds. Like, it's impossible. There's no way. Went back and looked at it 100 different times, 100 different angles. I'm like, damn, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, he's cold-blooded. And the Thunder are damn good, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, trade deadline. I'm going to do a whole lot of talking with Isaac Simpson. If you haven't heard all the news, it's been pretty wild. I haven't even gotten to a lot of the major news points, but Isaac's coming with a lot of Grizzlies talk at the deadline here on the other side. He's going to play Miss Chloe and do his best to kind of look through all this, figure out what's going on. But before I did want to go to break, because we're going to talk a whole lot of NBA on the other side with Isaac. 12 o'clock, we're going to go deep in the whole Eli Manning, Ole Miss basketball, Ole Miss football, Evie Van Pelt. Got a little wood for y'all. I got a really funny story. Like, the worst way to find out that your wife is, or the other person, let's just say a husband and a wife's marriage ended last night. Two separate families, though. Not last night. It was like late, like earlier in the playoffs. Wild, wild story. I'll tell you about it. I got some good wood today. Got some bets for you today. Got some bets. We haven't even talked anything about the SEC action last night, but we're going to do everything to get everything. But I have to tell you right now, this is pretty simple. Tonight we're talking about the awards because the NFL, they've moved up, and you got today NFL draft, NBA trade deadline. You got the award ceremony. We got the big game on Sunday. College baseball starting in like a little over a week. But right now, the MVP, when they announce this, is it going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson? And I'm hoping for Lamar Jackson that it's Josh Allen. Talk about pressure, putting more pressure on Lamar Jackson. You got 3 MVPs, no Super Bowls. Josh Allen was usually, right there, but it's Pat Mahomes standing in his way. I think Offensive Player of the Year is a slam dunk. It's got to be Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year, Jalen Carter. Little sidebar. Out of all the Super Bowls, I'm going to tell you a little history in the National Football League. If you have a Stanley Wilson situation, if you have a Eugene Robinson situation, we'll talk about the craziest situations in Super Bowl week. The team that had the craziest thing happen to them, they lost the Super Bowl. I'll go through the history of that. But back to the awards. Jalen Carter, by the way, is a guy I'm keeping my eye on up until Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure he makes it to the game. Coach of the Year, I think it's Dan Quinn. If Kevin O'Connell gets it, I will understand how great their regular season, but the way they lost their last 2 games and got dismantled by Detroit, then got dismantled by the Rams in the playoffs, kind of left that bad taste. And then Dan Quinn took a team that had the number 2 pick last year in the NFL draft, and they were 1 game away from the playoffs. Yes, that's right. They made it the NFC Championship game, lost to the Eagles, baby. Great year, and you know who, of course, is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's Jaden Daniels. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's Jared Verse. Comeback Player of the Year, it's probably going to be Sam Darnold, and it's because he came from basically nothing. I think it should be Joe Burrow. Nobody's ever had that surgery on their hand. He missed last season. And by the way, just because he went to a Super Bowl doesn't mean he's a comeback player, not a comeback player. That is the awards. And again, we'll talk Hall of Fame class. On the other side, though, it is all up in what's going on with the Grizzlies at the trade deadline. What about all these crazy, crazy trades? So much of that and more with Isaac Simpson, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. Call now. 800-575-8924. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I know it's not spring yet, but it's close, and right now, it's the perfect time to start thinking and planning for your backyard entertainment. It just so happens Family Leisure is thinking that way too, with their preseason pool and patio sale. Get 2024 pricing on all above-ground pools and patio furniture. Also, secure your spot for pool installation. That way, you can go ahead and start making plans. Lots of new inventory is en route, so in-stock patio furniture is up to 70% off. You want a play gym, a trampoline, how about an outdoor kitchen to go along with that new pool? They're all on sale too. You can get spas up to $3,000 off and save even more by mentioning this ad. You do that, you'll get a $250 gift card with a pool, spa, or patio furniture purchase. Winter won't last forever. Spring will be here soon, so get ready with the preseason pool and patio sale at Family Leisure, Rick Road off I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's a busy day in sports. You got the NBA trade deadline. It's happening. We've had so much action. It's already been the craziest trade deadline that I can remember. Lord. Plus, we had the Tigers win last night, by the way. They didn't cover the spread, but they took care of business. Knock-kneed sideshow Bob, that is P.J. Haggerty, just does what he does. Another great game from him. Tyrese Hunter, man, you get him hot from three, sharp shooter. Kind of like sleepwalking a little bit through the first half. Let Tulsa score a little bit, let them feel good, and then bing, bang, boom, clamp down. Going a nice run. The thing that was annoying, though, man, up 18 with not too many minutes left. I didn't bet on it. They didn't get the cover for my people who did, though, and I was very sad for that. And I've learned a long time ago, if you bet on the teams that you love, you lose the game, they don't, look as good as you want. Or if you lose the bet. If they lose the game and you lose the bet, your heart's broken and it double hurts. But if they win and cover and you get paid, it's not double better. So just enjoy the win because everything else is always usually about the money. And we're going to talk about the money in the NBA and what's been going on at the trade deadline with my man Isaac Simpson, whose thumbs the peeps. Isaac, how you doing on this Thirsty Thursday?
Man, what's going on? How you doing on this wonderful NBA trade deadline?
Man, it's a crazy one, isn't it, my man? Like, is this the craziest one you can remember?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think, like, the amount of All-Stars that have been moved for former All-Stars, I think it broke a record. So, man, it's some wild stuff going on out here.
It is absolutely wild, and we'll talk about a lot of the moves that ever have happened. But like our people right here in the city want to know what's going on. Is King Kleiman going to pull out a move? Is he going to pull a magic card? Is he going to pull that ace out of his hat? What's happening over in Grizz World?
Man, I've been having a little fun on the timeline, trolling a little bit. But in all seriousness, man, the Grizzlies are just, and Zach Kleiman's front office is just not a front office that does a lot of trades. I mean, they do a lot of this stuff internally. They they do it through the draft. They made some great moves, especially later in the draft, is where they've done their best work. But they're just not a team that makes a lot of trades. I think when you look at this roster, I think they need to make a trade. I've talked about this a lot. I think just even if you're doing something that just gives you future assets and you're not doing anything that tangibly helps you on the court this year, I think there needs to be consolidation done.
Is it because also, like, one thing also, you can't play everybody when healthy either? Like, having the deepest bench in the NBA is not going to help you, in a 7-game series as much.
Yeah, and I think Taylor Jenkins, I think sometimes you need to take some of his toys away from him. He's a guy that will try to play all these guys. I think you got to look at last night where he played virtually everybody in that game last night. Nobody played over like 23, 24 minutes last night. That's something I think, because you have guys like you have Jake LaRavia who's on an expiring contract. If you don't move him, you're just probably going to lose him for nothing, because now that you didn't extend him, you're capped out and you can only pay him on his rookie scale salary. So if somebody offered him, I think he might be at $4 million, I want to say. If somebody offered him $5 million, you can't match that. So you're likely to lose him for nothing. I mean, there's just things that you should do. I think you're trying to open up money to possibly re-sign Santi Aldama this summer, and if you could move some of that money out the books, that could help you do that. I just think they need to make a move, but I'm not convinced they're going to. There's kind of some talk about Marcus Smart, and I've been an advocate of feeling like they need to move on from him, but from kind of reports this morning, I think
not
Ian
getting
Begley,
much back.
Yeah, from Ian Begley from New York, he had a report out this morning that kind of made it sound like if they did move him, it'd be more of just kind of a salary dump. And when it comes to Smart, I think if he's healthy, even being a guy that would like to see him move, I think I would rather just hang on to him if you're just going to move him for some trash or expiring contracts or something that's not going to really help you. I think I would just rather ride it out. So we'll see. I mean, we got a couple of hours left, 2.5 hours left here before the deadline. Grizzlies have known to kind of the small moves that they do make. They usually come in right at that end. You'll see them sometime even after the deadline come in, see deals trickle in. That's kind of where they usually make these smaller moves. So still time. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm not expecting anything even semi-significant at this point.
So by 2:00 today, you think Grizzlies not a move? That's Miss Chloe's projection, right?
Yeah, and I hate to disappoint the people. I know we love transaction porn, but
transaction porn. I love that.
Yeah, if I had to bet right now, I would probably say that they stand pat. And if they do something, I could see possibly them dumping Smart for, like I said, just a straight salary dump, which I would prefer not to. I think in that case, you just keep him for the playoffs and hope he stays healthy and sees how it plays out. That's the only thing that I see them doing. Maybe they do something with LaRavia, something small, but anything significant, I don't see it happening at this point.
All right, if this is the boys that we're going to war with, you got to also still, because of basically how trade deadline porn is instant gratification. You want something, you're right up against the deadline. Like, if you don't get something, you feel disappointed. But in the reality of things, if this is who we are going to war with, you got to also do if you tighten it up a little bit. I mean, with Ja, the way Desmond's playing, Jalen Wells has come out of nowhere and become one of the best defensive players that I've seen in a long time. I mean, he ain't quite Lou Dort yet, but damn, he's locked down. He's legit. Tripp's having the best year I've ever seen. I mean, right now, I think he's playing better than Giannis, legit. Not just because we saw him in Milwaukee, but he's having a phenomenal season. Zach's giving more than I expected.
Man.
A hell of a lot more. He's getting better, it seems like, each week. Luke Kennard's leading the league in shooting 3-pointers. Fitch Williams Jr. hopefully will come back. We saw what we had from last year. Santi Aldama, all the stuff that he gives you. And then you got also G.G. Jackson, who's just a walking bucket. He's back. He's a baby, but man, he's serving them up, dude. He's serving them up like the pancake shop. I still feel good about everything they got. They do have, still Scottie Pippen Jr., who's just a feisty little joker. You got, I still don't really trust. I'm sorry. I know I've seen streaks, but like Jake LaRavia in the playoffs, I don't want to see him.
No, and that's the thing about this team. You just kind of laid it out there. They definitely have a lot of depth, a lot of different interesting parts.
Hell, I forgot BC, I think.
BC, yeah. I was going to say BC, just guys that bring a lot of different things to the table. And you saw this team outside of Dez pretty much healthy last night and looked good. They just kind of overwhelmed Toronto. I know that's a short-handed Toronto team that they were playing last night. No R.J. Barrett, no Jakob Poeltl. Chris Boucher, a couple other guys were out.
Boy, that was the best bet of the night, man. Did you watch that first half? That total dropped to 230, 233. Pounded that over. That was like,
yeah, man. They really
Lord.
Just ran that thing up in the second half, man. That was fun to watch last night. And like you said, I wasn't a big Zach Edey guy. I think anybody that follows me knows that I was against him. I was a Donovan Clingan guy. Still like Clingan. I think Clingan is in a situation where he's behind Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton. And I think when he's played, his plus minus has been great. I mean, he had a 17.14 rebound, 8 block game one time. So I still think it's there for Clingan. I think it's going to come in the future when he gets the opportunity. I think that's what's going on there. But Zach Edey has been, as of the last 3 or 4 games, man, he's been fantastic. I mean, I think last night was probably his best overall performance since he's been in the league. I mean, he was just a monster, man, grabbing one hand out of bounds, rebound. I mean, he was just a monster out there last night. The whole team just was hitting the boards, offensive rebounds last night. I think they out-rebounded them. I want to say something crazy, but like 30, like plus 30 on the boards last night. And they just look good, man, knocking out shots. You got Tom Morant the last couple of games, knocking down threes at a high clip. I mean, if they're playing like this, man, they're going to be
right when he came back the other night in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing like this, man, they're going to be a tough out. But I really do think Zach Edey doing what he's doing in the middle kind of makes a difference for his team. You getting offensive rebounds, giving his team second, third chance opportunities, and Jaren, man, just taking this game to another level. I mean, outside of he's still not a big rebounder, but outside of that, man, he's become virtually unstoppable. You just can't guard him, man. He has that little one-hand push floater shot that he's just money with it. Like sometimes he puts it up, I'm like, there's no way that's going in, and somehow it finds the bottom, man. He just barely misses that shot. He comes down, puts that shoulder down, and guys just can't do anything about it. So that's a weapon, man, that they got that you can use in playoffs. You can just give it to him, man. He is just going to go down and get a bucket. I think that's something that translates into the playoffs. So, I mean, this team has a lot of unique pieces. I think they could use a couple tweaks here and there, man, to kind of put it over the top. But again, second in the West, playing really good basketball right now. We'll see where it goes.
No, this is not legitimate. There ain't no beef, people. This is just bar fodder, okay? Like, so chillax. But I saw Dustin Starr put out a great little tweet yesterday, and he had like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant in a wrestling ring. I guess he put their faces on some wrestlers, and they had the belt, tag team title, and it was awesome. I loved it. Thank you. Shout out Dustin Starr. But and when I say literal bar fodder, this is the stuff I hear as of late. Man, I think this is Jaren's team. Oh man, no, this is Ja's team. And again, it's Tito's totter, actually. They need to be drinking Tito's. Maybe if they were drinking Tito's, they wouldn't be having these conversations. But what do you say right now, and how shocked are you? Because just about 3 years ago, could you ever imagine looking in the future and even having this conversation? Because it was 100% Ja.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, even 2 years ago, I don't think we could have seen this leap from Jaren, because Jaren has kind of been the fan base's whipping boy for years now.
Just a little bit of a late bloomer, man. Like have you ever seen a baby giraffe be born? They kind of just a little bit wobbly. He had to find his footing, and now he's out there just tearing it up from everywhere. And he used to drive me crazy when he shot the three. Now I love it.
Yeah, kind of like Mike Conley was kind of that same way. It took him a while to kind of come into his own. People wanted him traded for the first 3 or 4 years he was here. But yeah, man, I don't think you ever could have saw this coming. But I think, and I'm happy with what I've seen the last couple of games, because I'm going to be honest, man, I was really concerned about Ja, not just basketball wise, but mentally, man, he just looked to be in a bad place there. But over the last couple of games, man, he looks to be having fun out there again. I don't know what flipped the switch, but not only has his game kind of returned, I mean, mentally, he's on the bench, he's celebrating, and that was something that you weren't really seeing 3 or 4 games ago, man. He's sitting down in the back rows, is not really engaged, and I was just concerned. I was like, man, is this going to lead to a point where he possibly asked out or something like this? I just didn't like what was going on because, again, man, he's been through a lot. A lot of it self-inflicted with the off-the-court stuff, but I think you kind of look at his situation, and I think he's probably looking at it like, man, I was at the top, and now I'm not even making an all-star game. I got all these other stars, and people have forgotten about me, and I think he had all this stuff in his head, and that's on top of this new offense that they're running. It didn't seem like he was really fitting in with it. Darren kind of doing what he's doing. He's taking over, and maybe I'm just a second fiddle now. But over the last couple of games, man, he seems to he's gotten it back, man. So I'm really happy because, again, I was extremely worried that maybe we were losing him. So I'm just glad to see him happy, engaged, and playing really good basketball because he looks like John Morant over the last couple of games, man. I'm just glad to see him back out there having fun because in order for this team to reach their ceiling, man, they need him and Jaren to be at their best. And I think over the last couple of games, we've definitely seen it, and Jaren's been consistent with it all year. I don't think there's a fluke anymore. I think early in the season, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, he has a couple games here, but he's not going to continue. I think Jared's automatic. I don't even worry about him. He's almost a walking 30 points a game now. Like, I mean, every single night he feels like he's getting somewhere close to 30. So, again, man.
What was it, like 5 games in a row, I feel like?
Yeah. Again, man, we'll see what happens when it gets to the playoffs. But for the regular season, for sure, man, I think this team is really, really good. And they got a huge one coming up on Saturday night, man, against OKC. I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, Chet Holmgren.
I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie to you. Watching OKC last night and I've watched them a few times this year. When they want to turn it on,
they just run off on you. Like, I mean, that game was close, and next thing you know, they put up 140 and they up 25 points, like that. I mean, it's crazy the way Shea can get to the free throw line. I mean, they can just put up points in the bunches, and they're getting Chet back reportedly on Friday, so we'll see if he plays on the back-to-back Saturday. I actually want him to play because I want to see this team matched up against healthy OKC team, and I want to see them win a game like that on their own floor because so many times this season they come up small when they play Western Conference playoff team, and I don't want any excuses. I want them to go out there and see what they look like against us healthy and them healthy and go toe-to-toe with them. Home crowd going to be sold out, I'm sure. It's going to be a big one, man. That's going to be really, really interesting to see. But I think the Grizzlies, they're at a point where they need to make that statement, and they have an opportunity to do that on the home floor on Saturday night.
You know, we got to take a break here in just a little bit. On the other side, we do need to talk a little Tigers. I haven't even talked to you about the massive trade deadline. I have to get to that as well. We have so many things to get to. Desmond Bane's foot, though, he's got a foot sprain. Everything's going to be all right with that. What are you hearing about that?
Yeah, but I don't think David Jenkins said he doesn't think it's anything major at all. He kind of, people were saying it was possibly an ankle sprain. He was kind of hitting that it's better, that it wasn't an ankle sprain. There's just a foot sprain. So I'm kind of hoping he comes back on Saturday. And they got a couple of days off here. We'll see how that goes. The Grizzlies are super optimistic, but from everything I'm hearing, I don't think there's anything that's going to be long term. Even if he stayed out to the All-Star break, I mean, they got 3 games left, so that's not the worst thing in the world, even if he did that. But I'm hoping he comes back on Saturday because, again, man, I would like to see both teams at full strength.
Well, Isaac, we got to talk trade deadline. We also got to talk about, Isaac knows this. Everybody who out there listens to me knows this. I'm kind of an emotional person. I'm up, I'm down. Like one team, I'm in love one week. I'm not in love the next week. And when you look around the Grizzlies, there's a lot of people you can fall in love with. I mean, Desmond Bane's insane, man. Tripp's playing out of his mind, talking about maybe could this be his team. Ja's a high flyer. Everybody loves Ja. But we got to talk about a little bit Gigi Jackson, the young fellow. We got to talk about the trade deadline. We got to do that and so much more. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon, 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Call us today.
Colin Coward here with pro tight end Dallas Goedert to share his journey with plaque psoriasis and how he tackles his symptoms with Otezla Apremilast.
Yeah, being a football player with plaque psoriasis can be challenging. My skin gets flaky and itchy, so my doctor told me about a pill, Otezla. It works from the inside out.
Otezla is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months. Dallas is an Otezla patient that has been compensated for his time. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms, severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts.
Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
If you're struggling with plaque psoriasis, talk to your doctor about Otezla. Visit Otezla.com for more information or call 1-844-4-OTEZLA for prescribing info about cost, and more.
When disaster strikes, the food supply is the first domino to fall. It can start quietly, an emergency alert, a breaking news headline. But within hours, reality sets in. People rush to grocery stores, emptying shelves of everything from bread to canned goods. Lines stretch out the door, tempers flare, and desperation takes hold. And no matter who's in charge these days, you simply can't rely on the government to bail you out. That's why having an emergency food supply on hand is the right move for you and your family. Right now, you can get $50 off a 4-week emergency food kit at MyPatriotSupply.com. They're an American company trusted by millions, offering 2,000 calories per day with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you strong during a crisis. This food will be there for you when you need it, since it lasts up to 25 years and can ship out to you next day. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com now to get $50 off your 4-week emergency food kit. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Join us celebrating 26 years of Napa Cafe. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. I'd sure love to see you.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, and we got Isaac Simpson because today is busy, man. We haven't even talked about the Tigers. Tigers, of course, beat Tulsa last night. Didn't cover the spread, but they did get the dub. PJ is awesome. Grizzlies, today, trade deadline. No move has happened. Isaac looked in his crystal ball, said he don't believe anything's going to happen today. This is who we got. This is who we're going to war with. But we will keep you abreast if anything does change. The Bears owner, Virginia McCaskey, she has passed away at 102 years old. Wow, 102. My granny lived to be 100. My great-grandmother lived to be 100. I don't think I'll be even seeing close. Sorry. Y'all aren't going to be blessed to hear me that long. Now, we got to get back to talking a little Grizzlies, but some trade deadline. Before we get to the crazy trade deadline, just got to ask you, Isaac, what you thinking about my man GG?
Man, I've been a big fan of GG even going back to South Carolina, man. I knew when the Grizzlies got him in the second round that he was going to be an absolute steal because he's in a situation. He went to college early. He was only 17 years old, and that South Carolina team was such a mess, and he was just kind of thrown in there as a leader, and I think he still, even through those circumstances, performed really well. I knew that he had star potential in him, and I still believe it. I mean, the athleticism that you see, man, he's got to get into the mid-range. He has deep range on his three-point shot. And, I mean, even off the court, personality-wise, he's a star. I mean, I just love everything about him. And, man, if they give him an opportunity, man, to flourish, he's going to do just that. I mean, I think he could be a future all-star if he reaches his ceiling. I think he has that type of talent. And I don't even think we've even scratched the surface of what he could be yet.
Crazy trade deadline. We got to get into it. Of course, everybody, we've talked Luka and AD extensively. We now have Butler with the Dubs, Wiggins out. You heard some stuff about Kerr and Curry. Like a lot of people, I'm not sure how they feel about this. KD didn't want to go. The Lakers, by the way, got their center in Williams. Right now, winners, losers, who you got?
I think you got to say the Lakers are the winners, and I hate to say that, but man, it just feels like the Lakers can make deals that other teams can't make. As people say, there's levels to it, and it seems that they are just playing on a different playing field. I mean, who thought Luka would be available?
Nobody.
I mean, that trade is kind of complex because I get the reason why Mavericks fans are flipping out because long term, I mean, you just trade your face of the franchise, one of the face of the league, 25 years old, thought he could possibly be there for a lifetime. In the short term, I actually think Dallas is better. I think this year and into next year, with that front court that they have, I think when Lively comes back, I think you have the best front court in the league. And I think they get in the playoffs. I think that's going to be hard to deal with when you talk about AD, Lively, Daniel Gafford, and P.J. Washington. I think that's going to be really, really hard for some teams to deal with. You still got Kyrie there. You still have Clay, who's playoff veteran, been in lots of playoff wars. So I think that team, I think they could possibly get back to the finals. I just think long term, you're trading Luka for possibly a year and a half of this kind of iteration of what you have going on right now, and that's the part of it that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, how beloved he is in that city. Just you don't trade a guy at that age for aging AD, even though he might the way that grouping of that team is right now might make them better in the short term. You can't get rid of Luka in that situation. But for the Lakers, I think they've set themselves up post LeBron. I mean, you got your superstar, and then they needed a center after trading AD, and somehow nobody even thought Mark Williams would be available. And somehow overnight, I wake up and they pull Mark Williams in a deal which I don't think they gave up much. I mean, saw the connect. I mean, I don't think he's a rookie, and he's had his ups and downs, but they need a center, man, to get a guy like Mark Williams. He's been injured. I think that's the negative.
That's one thing I did not realize. He's kind of been like almost Joel Embiid-esque.
Yeah, I mean, he's had tremendous amounts of injuries, but when he's on the floor, man, I think he's super talented. And I think you put him on that floor with Luka Doncic, man, the pick and roll that they can run, I think it's going to be devastating. I think that makes them a lot better. I think Jackson Hayes would have been their starting center before you got him. I think Mark Williams, if he's healthy, I think that changes some things for them and makes them more formidable in the playoffs. And again, I think long term the Lakers have kind of set themselves up with you have that centerpiece in Luka, and you just kind of build off of that when LeBron leaves. So I think the Lakers are clearly the winners. This Jimmy Butler to Miami thing, I don't really get it.
Like the malcontent who left Miami to go with the Warriors, you mean?
Yeah. Because when they were talking about it, I was like, is there some other Jimmy Butler out there that I don't know anything about? I I don't really think this moves the needle for them. If I'm being honest, I think I'm not necessarily even sure that they're better than they were pre-trade. Because I mean, you're losing Andrew Wiggins, you're also losing Kyle Anderson, you're also losing Dennis Schroeder, so you're losing depth pieces. This still looks like a team that possibly could be a playoff team, could lose in the first round. I mean, I don't think Jimmy Butler moves the needle enough for them, because even if you're watching him, Steph has even kind of lost a step. Like, he's looking human all of a sudden. That's an older group of guys with him, Steph, and Draymond. I just think I don't think that moves the needle. And then they went out and paid him $121 million, which doesn't make any sense, because they should be looking toward the future and kind of starting a rebuild. You paying them that kind of money. I just don't know why you do that. I think it's just they want to go out and get a name. Like, if you look through the rumors throughout trade deadline, they were just they were trying to get everybody. Like, they were desperate, and I think that move to me screams of desperation. That his name is Jimmy Butler. We know how that name resonates through the league, so we're just going to go get a name. But actually on the floor, man, I don't really think that moves the needle for them much. I don't think that makes them a championship contender. They're trying to keep their window open for Steph, and I don't really think that move does that.
Yeah, me neither, man. But I will say I think De'Aaron Fox and Wemby down the line, man, that's going to get nasty, man. The way we're going to see Wemby now running the court with De'Aaron Fox getting down there quickly. He's not going to have to. I mean, you get that man running him down the court the way he can. He will wear centers out.
I mean, they already the first game, both of them went off last night. I think Fox had like 22 points and 13 assists or something crazy, and Wemby had a big game. They're already looking like it. That's the first game they played together. So that's going to be a problem for the NBA and Grizzlies in that same division for years to come, man. So that's something that we got to deal with for sure.
That is for sure, man. Isaac, thank you so much for my time. I mean, your time. Thanks you for my time. Lord, Isaac, I'm sorry I had a crazy morning. Tell everybody where you're at, what you're working on. You know he's at Isaac_NBA. You know he's here every single Thursday from 11:30 to 12. What you got coming down the pipe?
Yeah, man. Just as you said, man, follow me at Isaac_NBA. Definitely podcast on the way. Definitely got that coming down the pipe. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, man, we got a couple more hours here, man. Hopefully the Grizzlies can pull something out of the hat. I'm not optimistic, but we'll see what happens.
Man, that is my buddy Isaac Simpson. Be blessed, big homie.
Will do.
That is, man's been on, man. That man's Twitter's been on fire. But the trade deadline, depending on your fan base, has been everything from preposterous to grotesque to wacky, unthinkable, eccentric.
To awesome if you're a Lakers fan.
Ridiculous, awesome, outlandish.
Same if you're a Grizzly fan.
You feel like, do you feel surreal? I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of trade deadlines. I ain't seen, like, this is a serious movement, bro. And then there's behind-the-scenes drama. Maybe it's because we're more in, like, the world where we live and, like, we got the Housewives of Miami. Because aren't the players kind of sounding like a little Housewives of Miami-esque? Steve Kerr was upset last night. Steph Curry, this feels like Days of Our Lives. Ant-Man can't sleep at night because they traded Luka. Fans are boycotting in Dallas, and it has nothing to do with politics, all to do with Luka. Like, it's just like, damn. And by the way, I can't lie, I'm eating it up, dude. It's like early years of Jerry Springer, man. I'm just like mainlining it. NBA trade deadline today, 2 o'clock. Switching gears on the other side, we got a great Evie Van Pelt. It's Ole Miss time. And tonight also, don't forget, man, NFL awards, Hall of Fame, all kinds of goodies. It's a busy, busy day. We're breaking it down with her next on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
I see you on the dark side of the moon.
It's putt-putt time. The weather's getting right for a little time outside. Putt-Putt Golf and Games Driving Range is a good place to be. At Putt-Putt Driving Range, $10 gets you a small bucket of balls, use of the chipping and putting greens, and top tracer. There are even senior rates available. Putt-Putt Golf and Games Driving Range, 5484 Summer Avenue. Call today to make your reservations. 901-386-2992. Putt-Putt
windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season. That begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View. This is Original Sports Station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
That was one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday out there. It's always making me think a little bit of Tito's, but right now you might be a little hungry. Do you want the flavors of Mexico to melt in your mouth? How about you check out Los Cabos right there near Summer and Graham? Lunch specials 10 to 3 daily, $7 to $11. And I mean, you can get it all. Don't forget, though, everybody loves happy hour. 3 to 8, yup, daily. Los Cabos, where the flavors of Mexico melt in your mouth. Check them out. Now it's time to talk with Evie Van Pelt. Tuesday night, you watch Malik Dia go absolutely ham all over Kentucky. What a game. They've never, ever been favored over Kentucky. 4.5-point favorite, first time in history of the program for the Rebels. Yeah. Went out there and covered the spread. Had the best first half ever in the history of Ole Miss basketball. We saw history, but this is a tough SEC. Where's Chris Beard and them boys? What does Evie think about it? But before we get even into basketball, I've asked my texters, and I'm now going to ask this to Evie. We've had, a lot of discussion tonight. It seems like the NFL is embracing the 24/7 news cycle. Hey, I don't care if the trade deadline's today. We're coming over the top ring with all the awards, Hall of Fame, all that good stuff. And when you look at Eli Manning, I have had this conversation. I love Ole Miss. I love Eli Manning. I love all that. I say Hall of Fame. It's a quarterback's league, like Charlie said, man. 2 Super Bowls, beat the GOAT Tom Brady twice. When it came down to the final drive of the game to win the game, Eli Manning came through. Yeah, David Tyree caught the ball off his helmet, but man, how many big throws did Eli Manning make? Now, the other side. Oh, he's 117 and 117. When did you ever think of him in 16 years as a top 5 player? When he never sniffed an MVP. Never was an all-pro. Only 4 Pro Bowls. Yada, 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 yada. You hear that stuff all the time. Also do want to remind people out there, though, think about some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that never even got a chance to win a Super Bowl. I don't even have to go into, like, the crazy ones, like my great friend, like, not friend, but, like, the dude I loved, Steve McNair. But Dan Marino, Jim Kelly couldn't get it done. Phillip Rivers, he played forever. Warren Moon, Donovan McNabb. Like so many great quarterbacks could not get it done. He got it done twice. I mean, you had the Patriots who were coming in undefeated, the best damn offense you've ever seen in your life. Eli Manning helped them get it done. But what is the great Even Van Pelt from the Rebel Walk, your number one source for all things sports information thing? And first and foremost, I'm glad you're feeling better, Evie, and you're back, babe.
Oh, I'm back, baby. And I tell you what, the stomach virus is no joke. I mean, the stomach virus is just, for anybody out there who has that, oh, God bless you. And I tell you what, I mean, it's not a tough one for me. I mean,
it's
I'm
not a
with
tough
you.
one for me, but I do get
no.
people who say this to me, and that's what I brought to the table. If his name was Eli Smith, not Eli Manning, would he be getting in? And again, his name is Eli Manning, so that's hard for me to take apart. But I will say he sure as hell wasn't Trent Dilfer or Brad Johnson winning those Super Bowls. He made like the big throws at the big times.
He did, and again, I mean, I just feel like 2 Super Bowl wins. I mean, that's hard for me to look past. I mean, I know that's what the proponents say. You know, those 2 Super Bowl victories carry major weight. And again, it's like you said, it's not like they beat some, Johnny-come-lately in those Super Bowls. I mean, taking down Tom Brady and the Patriots. I mean, good grief. So I don't know. I mean, I'm fascinated by it and can hardly wait to hear. I don't know. I don't even know what all they take into account. I mean, do they take into account, he won the 2 Super Bowls, maybe, the 117 and 117, they'll look to that. But, what an ambassador for the game. What a representative of the sport. What a good human being with everything that he does on and off the field. So I don't know, but I'm with you.
He did beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl, and he's damn better on television than Tom Brady.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! It's so funny. I wanted Tom Brady to be just fantastic, but there is something. I apologize. I mean, I love Tom Brady, but I mean, his voice, there's just something about his voice that, when it comes on, I'll tell David, mute it. So I would much rather listen to Eli.
Yes, I'm right there 100% with you. And Tom was great. And Eli got him twice. And that's also the other things that you have to you had Tom Brady and the Patriots machine standing in front of you. You had an undefeated team with Randy Moss catching bombs. And again, then other people are going to say, well, look at that defense for the Giants. I mean, you can slice this any way you want. I have a feeling he gets in, no problem.
I think he does too. I mean, I just, we'll see. What is it, 8:00 tonight we find out? Is that right, 8:00? I don't know. I mean, I think he should be in. Again, when you have 2 wins over Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, I just think that, I don't know. I think
2
you had
Super Bowl rings in an NFL league when you had, again, you had Brady running around there. Also had to deal with his brother.
Yeah.
I mean, there was.
He's still what is he? He's number 11 all time in passing yards. 57,023 yards. 57,000 passing yards. 366 passing touchdowns. I mean, I don't know.
And if Plaxico didn't shoot himself, he could have 3 Super Bowl rings.
He could have 3, exactly. If that gun just didn't somehow discharge. That's exactly right. So, I mean, I think, little trivia, Jim Plunkett is the only starting quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls and not make the Hall of Fame. And
that's a nice little nugget.
That's a nice little nugget. But 57,000 all-time passing yards. I think put the man in. Put the man in.
I'm with you. Now we're going to talk, switch gears a little bit. We'll come back to the football, talk about the Rebels. But my goodness, that was a huge win on Saturday for the Rebels. And it was a history-making night.
Wasn't it, though? I mean, that first half, that first half, I don't know if anybody had that on their bingo card. Just unbelievable. And, they kind of made Rebels a little bit nervous in the second half, at different points.
Well, you know what?
But
It was the Texas A&M flashbacks. That's what it was. And you got to admit, down the stretch, when they try to milk clock, it's like they don't even try to score. I don't know. I'm like, dude, I understand 30 seconds is 30 seconds, but damn.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. But what a win. And I mean, to be honest, to what was the assist to turnover ratio, 24-1. I mean, that is unheard of. It was funny. Beard was asked about that.
Oh my God! I thought it was no turnovers. They had what? They ended up having one
they
turnover.
They had one. And Beard, was asked about that, and he said, "Yeah, it's his dream to have none." And but Padula, kind of lost the handle. I mean, he said, he just flat out, called out Padula on that. I mean, he wasn't being a jerk about it or anything. But man, I mean, that was unbelievable. I just, again, the crowd. I mean, the students that were there that were there early, and I mean, the whole entire atmosphere. I think Chris Beard never fails to start out, talking about that. I think he opened his opening statement. He said, "I wish I had a different way to say this because I don't ever want to take it for granted. But again, we're just so appreciative of the attendance, the crowd, the students show up early, they bring the juice, and just electric in there." So what a turnaround from a few years ago.
Now, it's been a heck of a turnaround. The SEC is absolutely crazy. If you look at Joe Lunardi's bracket, he had 3 teams from the SEC in the Final Four, the top 4 seeds. He had, of course, Auburn, who looks invincible. He had Alabama, and he had Tennessee. Tennessee took care of Dennis Gates and them boys. Missouri last night. I got the cover on the other side. Thank you. But the SEC is buck wild, and the upper echelon of the SEC is the creme de la creme across the country. I 100% agree. But then I look kind of a little bit at these SEC teams that are great. I mean, there are good basketball teams, but some of them I don't know their true identity, and Ole Miss is one of them.
One of them, right?
Because you have like Malik Dia, who is a phenomenal basketball player, works his tail off, but he's an undersized big. He can step out and shoot the 3, and what he did against Kentucky was extremely impressive. But does the offense go through him? What are they doing with Padula and Matthew Morrell? It feels still like Chris Beard's trying to figure out exactly what is his recipe for success and how this team is going to win in the SEC.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, part of it, it's interesting. I don't know, you probably heard them talk about Matthew Morrell, who is injured. I mean, it's a lower body injury, they'll
He looked
say.
good shooting the other night.
And he
2
did,
points.
but, he doesn't practice. They said he doesn't practice. He can't practice. And so it's like they save him for games. So everything you're seeing Morrell do, he is literally doing it without practice and, still trying to be there and be supportive of his team and everything. I mean, he had 24 points the other night, but he does not practice because of whatever his injury is. And so that's interesting to me. I think that it's hard to know. I mean, I don't know. Even though we saw them look like they looked against Kentucky, I think they can even get a little bit better if Morrell is healthy. Jamin Brakefield, one of my writers was talking to me about it. He said he's kind of been on the least talked about run since SEC play started. He said non-conference, he was at 9 points a game. 31% from 3-point range. SEC play, that's up to 13.1 points a game. Field goal percentage almost at 50 and 3-point at 43.5. And so, I think he's going to be, I think they're going to lean on those 2 guys. I think that, Brakefield has played more of a role coming off the bench, but I mean, again, just consummate team player and has done such a really good job.
if it's time, like late in the ball game, tight basketball game, who are they going through, or who's going to get that bucket? Because if it's a different person every time, is a great thing to have. I'm just saying, like, but right now I can't figure out like which. I mean, Malik Dia the other night was the dog. Like, I mean, he was
the
that
dog. And Juju. I mean, Juju hit some big shots. I mean, I felt like in the second half there were a few times that things could have gotten away from them, a little bit. I mean, they were still up, but I felt like Juju hit a couple of big shots when maybe it looked like Kentucky might be fixing to kind of go on a little run there. And, so, and Padula, but I'm with you. I mean, right now I'm Dia. I'm on the Dia train.
I think so too. And it's just going to be so interesting because, again, man, like, he is such an undersized big, but when you get down there right there and you see him, you're like, damn, man, he is undersized. Like, when you're watching it on television, you don't necessarily notice it as much because of how big he plays and how athletic he is. But, man, he is getting banged, and he ain't backing down from nothing, and he's also pulling those guys out, making them, cover them from the three-point line. And, I mean, he's doing a little bit of everything. You just kind of wonder, do they have enough size down low? They throw in a whole bunch of bodies and everything, but is that something that you can win within this crazy SEC conference?
Right. That's really good questions. We just filled out our application for the SEC tournament for credentials, and I'm just thinking, man, that is going to be some high level basketball there. I'm with you, and I wish I had the answer. Heck,
it's
Chris
hard.
Beard probably
he doesn't
wishes
even know
he
it,
had
does
the
he?
answer. Yeah, no, he wishes he had the answers. And I thought it was interesting. Rebounding. I mean, there we go with rebounding. I mean, Kentucky out rebounded Ole Miss 37-29, I believe. But I think defensively they out-rebounded them 31-26 and offensively 6-3. And I thought it was interesting that you may have noticed on the sidelines every time they had a timeout and went to the huddle, Beard had somebody there holding up a marker board with the tally of their rebounds and Kentucky's rebounds. So I think, there's obviously been a focus on that because that's been a little Achilles heel. And something that they're going to have to be cognizant of as we get farther down the road. But,
and I guess where all this comes from is basically the two Texas teams, especially that I've seen them play this year. They got it done against the Longhorns. They choked it away against A&M. So like that whole late game situation for me with the Rebels is, I guess, the one thing that I still can't figure out what they're trying to do in the final 3 minutes. I know Chris Beard's trying to figure it out as well.
I think so too. I think he is too. And because, man, you just, again, I mean, in all the little Ole Miss social media groups that I'm in, there was nobody that felt comfortable, as the clock ran down in the second half, because you're right. What's going on there? Maybe we need to try and score a little bit more.
God, if we could just duplicate those two first halves they had against Kentucky, I don't think anybody can beat them. That was ridiculous. But to switch gears, man, my goodness, Lane Kiffin's still, pushing up daisies, baby. They say that the NFL draft, that he could have more, top 100 picks than the history of basically Ole Miss forever.
Yes, that was something I was really surprised about. A friend of mine, Mike Detillier, is an NFL draft expert, puts out a draft report every year, and he texted me and he said, "Did you know that the last time Ole Miss had 5 players drafted or in the top 100 was 1962?" And he said, "I think that they could have 7 this year." And so wouldn't that be amazing? So he ranks these 7 Rebels in the top 100: Walter Nolan, Jackson Dart, Princely Amon-Mielen, Trey Amos, Trey Harris, Jared Ivey, and Pupal. And my gosh, I think I have to agree with him there. And it's interesting. He can also, there's so much talk going around about Jackson Dart, and I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, dude, he looked unbelievable.
Yeah, he did, and Detillier believes that Jackson helped himself there, and I think not only helped himself in terms of the way he played, but I think helped himself. He's he's gotten very, very good in interviews. People, trying, I don't know that they're trying to trip him up, but, I think he was asked at one point, I think he was asked actually at the Gator Bowl about Cam Ward, not playing in the second half, and he's been coached well. He didn't want to comment on that. And then at the Senior Bowl, he just, I think he does really well in the interviews with teams and with the media. And, Detillier said he could go anywhere from, in the first round, from 14 to 22. He said, and again, just takes one team to fall in love with you, and he could go even higher. So that's going to be fun to watch.
It is going to be fun, and I have to say something about JJ Pegues. So, what are you like? Where are you feeling that he's going to be out here in this NFL draft? Do you have any kind of?
It's so hard for me to separate what I know about these guys versus, what you're hearing from the analysts who don't know him. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like, he is a powerful interior defender. I think he has rare athletic traits. His movement skills, his explosiveness stand out on film. I think, he played in the Shrine Bowl. And
he did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. He has been invited to the NFL Combine. So that is really good. I think that's going to be a good opportunity for him and will help him help some of those teams that perhaps NFL teams that don't know about him to learn more about him. And his character is just, he's just a wonderful guy. So that's what I mean. It's hard for me sometimes. I'm like, man, if I was an NFL GM, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. A team builder, a leader, who has both the physical skills and the skills, off the field. So,
well, I was going to say, just off the field, let me just kind of tell you something. I didn't even know this until I saw Savannah Tuesday night after the Ole Miss win.
Uh-huh.
And we were just kind of talking, and they had that banner in the street and all that, all that stuff. And I was asking, because they won the national championship in cheerleading. She's elated, yada, yada. And then she goes, man, do you know JJ Pegues? And I said, not personally. I know who you're talking about. And she goes, do you know that he is the nicest person I've ever met? I just love him to death. And I was like, really? She's like, yep. When we got back, he put a banner. He paid for it out of his pocket. A banner across the square. Congratulations, national championship. Got gift bags for all the girls out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Yep, and didn't even sign it. JJ Pegues signed it as Milo, his little dog, and then paid. And then when they went to a dinner, they all were going to celebrate for dinner. Paid for every one of their dinner. That dude is just I'm rooting for that guy.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know where he's going to go. I would think I would have him right there on the fringe of the top 100. I think late third round, maybe early fourth. That's where I think he'll go. That's not where I would pick him if I were an NFL GM, because I would have him higher. Because again, it's like they say, you can't coach speed, you can't coach height, whatever, but God, he's a good guy.
You can't characters built over time. You can't instill it into an off season.
I agree, and for that's just he's a team builder. That's what I said. Look what he did for the national championship winning cheer team. He is a team builder, and I just that's going to be a good one to watch. But yeah, I think he's right there in the top 100.
Well, he is somebody I'm absolutely rooting for. Oh, by the way, Reese, you're a good dude. Jackson's great and everything, but JJ, he went above and beyond. That was super, super cool. Now
that is amazing. And didn't even didn't.
Oh yeah, I thought about when I told you this. I was like, man, I don't know if she told me to not say anything because I didn't want people to know. Because again, he signed everything like Milo Pegues, which is the dog, his little dog that he's always with.
Well, I think, again, character matters, and I think there's a lot of NFL clubs out there nowadays who that really does matter. That kind of thing matters. So I think it wouldn't be a bad thing if that got out.
No, I kind of even like what I said, man. Like, you can actually instill character in an off season, So, like, trust me, they've tried to in the NFL so many times with so many different people. We do have baseball right around the corner, by the way. I haven't even mentioned it. I know I'm running out of time, but you ready for a little bit of the ping?
I am ready, and they open up in Arlington at the Shriners Children's Classic, and we actually had a Zoom yesterday with the coaches that are going to be participating in that, and I'm excited about that. Ole Miss opens against Arizona, and they're never any slouch. And then Saturday, so they play February 14th against Arizona, then Saturday versus Texas, and Sunday versus Clemson. So I think, what's it going to be like that Saturday game versus Texas? Wonder if we'll see Grayson Saunier pitching for Texas, possibly against his former Ole Miss team.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Even the
to
kids
watch.
would be all up into that.
Yeah. So, I think this season is going to be really interesting. I don't know, you probably saw that the Rebels in the SEC preseason rankings were picked 15th out of 16.
Yeah, and I think that was wasn't that like 7th in the SEC, though, or something?
No. That's in the SEC. That's the SEC. That's 15 out of 16 in the SEC. So they're not picked very high, so they got nowhere to go but up. And so, and I mean, the teams that are going to be playing in that tournament are, I want to say, like maybe all three of Ole Miss's opening opponents are ranked in the top 21. So we're going to get a really good glimpse of what the Rebels have coming up really soon. Now, Hunter Elliott, who really, has almost gone 3 years without being able to play, is back. He was picked preseason All-SEC second team. From everything I'm hearing, Hunter's velocity is up, and so that's a good thing. It's going to be tough to have Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher over there with the Vols, though. That's a tough one. That's going to be tough to look at.
It's going to be even tougher when you got to play them.
Oh man, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, you're right. We're getting ready to get started, and we have credentials for it. So I'll be in Arlington, and just super excited to get a first glimpse of the 2025 baseball team. And it's funny. I don't know if we've talked about it before, but they're doing something a little different. It's the first year they don't have captains. They don't have actual captains this year. You're going to see guys with an L on their jersey for leader. And it's going to be guys, you get that L patch, when they see you being a leader, practice in a game. And, it's just kind of a function of the transfer portal in that you get these older guys that come in that
I never even thought about that. That makes sense.
They wouldn't be voted a captain because they're just, a new guy to the team, but yet they bring a lot of experience to the team. And so, he just kind of wanted to try it this way. So that's going to be interesting. No captain.
Well, we got all kinds of things going down in Hottie Land tonight. We're going to find out, is Eli going to get in the hall? All kinds of great stuff. But the big game is on Sunday. Evie, who you got?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to ask me that. I told David he's going to ask me.
Definitely going to ask.
And I've been on the Mahomes bus. I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard to beat him, but I also think it's hard to do anything 3 times in a row. Of course, we also got our man A.J. Brown playing over there for the Eagles. So I don't know. I think ultimately, I think the Chiefs are going to take it, but I think my heart wishes A.J. would win it.
Well, we will see, everybody.
What do you think? What do you think?
Right now, to be honest with you, I'm leaning with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jalen Hurts threw for 300 yards, ran 3 touchdowns, threw a touchdown pass, played the greatest game of his entire life, and the Eagles still fell short. And I almost feel like if you combine the 49ers and the Eagles, they'll be the Buffalo Bills of the NFC because they've already beat San Francisco twice in the Super Bowl. They beat the Eagles twice in the Super Bowl. Their 4 chips will be Pat Mahomes, and they'll all be Eagles and damn 49ers.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. It was funny. My daughter was in New Orleans day before yesterday. My granddaughter had a field trip to the aquarium, and so Katie was sending me pictures of the $360 million yacht parked right there.
Oh yeah, my man from Atlanta. Is it in Atlanta Falcons owner?
Yes, exactly. And holy cow, that thing was something else. So New Orleans
Arthur Blank don't play.
Yeah, no. So New Orleans is hopping, and we wish them the best. I think they've got everything secure, and it'll be safe. And I think the president's going to be there, so it'll be quite a game. But I kind of think Mahomes and the Chiefs will win it in the end.
I got Eagles people blowing me up right now, saying their luck's running out. The Chiefs have been skating on the edge all year.
Well, let's have A.J. Brown go off.
Let's go, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, win that. Hey, Eagles, win it, and A.J. Brown MVP, and then everybody's going to be crazy in Oxford.
Yeah, everybody would be crazy. And, A.J. has been speaking out. I don't know if you've seen lately. He has done some, kind of publicity, bringing awareness to mental health issues. And I just think that's, real proud of him. Real proud of him. I mean, he actually said he contemplated suicide in 2020. And he shared
I didn't even
his
know
advice.
This. That's crazy to think about.
He shared his advice to those who might be struggling and said, "Don't be afraid to seek help. Somebody was there for me, and that ultimately saved my life." So, I just think that's a powerful message, and a lot of, especially with younger people, you look at somebody like A.J. Brown, and you think, how in the world, 2020, how in the world could somebody like him ever have those kind of feelings? But he's really been open and brave, and hopefully, I think he may help save some lives.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, like people, like how you see people all the time at work, and you see people out and about, and you see their Facebook and the Instagram and all that stuff, and everything looks so perfect. Like, man, everybody out there has issues.
Everybody has issues, and his comment, he said, "Just because I play this beautiful game doesn't mean life's not going to happen to me. I encourage everyone to seek help when you're down." So, just powerful coming from him.
Powerful story from A.J. Brown. When you're looking for Ole Miss talk and fodder, especially when it comes to sports, baby, there's one place. It's the Rebel Walk. Go to therebelwalk.com. You can follow them on Twitter at the Rebel Walk. You can follow them on the X also at the Rebel Walk. They are the same thing. I just go back and forth all the time. And, of course, you can check out Evie. She's so easy to find. It is at Ole Miss Evie. Evie, thank you for your time. Tell David I said what up, and enjoy the big game.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
That's my friend Evie. Now, we got to also tell you, I'm late for a break, but guess what? You might be like hungry. Well, if you're in a hurry, just run into Los Cabos. Don't run into no fast food, man. That stuff's nasty. Like, that stuff's going to kill you. They put a quarter pounder one day, like, on a desk, man. A year later, came back, the damn thing didn't mold. It was still sitting right there looking like the same damn quarter pounder. Like, that can't be real. That can't be real, but you know what is real? And it's real damn good. It's Los Cabos. The flavors of Mexico, they melt in your damn mouth, baby. Like, I'm so hungry right now. Give me a little enchilada grande. I can't even say it. Enchilada grande. Give me some tacos, a little quesadilla action, burrito up in this joint. Yeah. My beans, my rice, my salsa, guacamole. I'm on. And don't forget, get my margarita, 3 to 8, baby. Happy hour, but it's 10 to 3, and it's lunchtime right now. Check out their lunch specials, 10 to 3, $7 to $11. It's as easy as that. Los Cabos right there at Summer and Graham. We got some wood on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South. Its size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and
protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Sometimes you just need to make fast, like the fun that comes from a quick and nimble 2024 Honda CB500F. This amazing style streetlight to narrow 471cc twin, along with a sleek TFT display, dual disc front brakes, and standard ABS. All made for one price. Find phone all-wearing Lexus 2024 Honda CB500F. Available at DeSoto Honda, 5656 Golden Road, Olive Branch.
Hungry for that delicious smash burger flavor? Dyer's Cafe is the original smash burger since 1912 and still smashing burgers in Collier's historic town square. Come out for their lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. Ask about the world famous split dog and authentic Chicago or New York dog. Try the leaner side of Dyer's with a grilled chicken sandwich or freshly made salad. Also serving Lakes, Delta raised catfish, Pasquale's tamales, and a customer favorite hand-breaded onion ring. Dyer's, serving world famous burgers, dogs, and shakes in Collier's historic town square.
Love is in the air, and it's time to remember all the sweethearts in your life. The best way I know is Dinstall's. It's Valentine's Day on the 14th. We're celebrating on Monday with our annual Valentine's Day remote at Dinstall's, where they make the candy on Pleasant View. We will be launching chocolate-covered strawberry season that begins on Wednesday. Remember, nobody dips them like Dinstall's, and we'll see you on Monday on Pleasant View.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a little Thirsty Thursday, and that always makes me think of the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka, crafted and distilled in the United States down in Austin, Texas. 6 times distilled before it's distilled in classic copper pots, baby. It's delicious. But it gives it a unique flavor, slightly sweet, black pepper note. It balances everything out. You could be crafting a cocktail, or you could be drinking it neat. Whatever you do, make sure you got the best. That's Tito's handmade vodka. Let's go to Hardinwood.
This says Hardinwood.
And we got the big game on Sunday. Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs looking to do something that nobody's done. And I want to also talk about it. Don't have enough time today. I need another hour in my show to get through all the news going on today. NBA trade deadline, NFL, MVP is going to be announced. Who's in the hall.
You see Miss Cleo's crystal ball is broken, right?
No, we had a trade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Grizzlies?
Yeah.
So,
not Grizzlies. So right now, breaking, sorry, Isaac, in that crystal ball, Phoenix Suns just traded Yusuf Nurkic and a first-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets for Cody Martin, Vasily Milicic, and a second-round pick.
Vasily Milicic. Congratulations.
So, yeah, Miss Cleo's crystal ball is broken.
It's all right, man. The whole damn thing's been broken if you're doing trade deadline. Who thought Luka was going to L.A.? Who thought, man?
Hornets loading up on first-round picks, if you notice that, though. They got a first-round pick from the Lakers, getting one from the Suns.
Dude, Chris Middleton, biggest loser in this whole situation.
Ugh.
Could you imagine going to the Wizards?
Yeah, but he's broken down now. He's had his moment.
Still, like, you're going to Washington to die.
Yeah, he was dying in Milwaukee.
Like, dude, so is that...
He did not have an L on his jersey.
Is the Washington organization like the Dr. Kevorkian of NBA careers? Like, you just go there to die?
Yeah, them and the Hornets, yeah.
Without pain?
Oh, yeah, them and the Hornets, yeah.
Now, it's time to get into some of the wildest stories from the National Football League over the years. This will be Super Bowl 59. I got my eyes out. I'm watching to see what's going on in the streets. Are we going to have a situation? And what I mean is like a crazy situation. We can go all the way back to Super Bowl I, where we had crazy heroics and the story and the legend of Max McGee first took off. if you don't know this story because you're a young buck, Max McGee, a little used, only had 4 receptions for the Green Bay Packers as a wide receiver. Didn't think he was going to get any playing time because you had Boyd Dowler, who was a baller, got injured on the very first drive of the game. My man was out all night partying on Sunset, out in Los Angeles, taking in the vibes. I mean, he's been in Green Bay. It's been frozen. He's been out drinking, hanging with the ladies. Dude, first of all, runs out on the field. They didn't even really have helmets back then. This dude went on to have a hella good game. 138 yards and 2 scores. He said he was so hungover he doesn't remember the first half. Well, you had a hell of a game, Max McGee, and that's where like the legend started in Super Bowl I. But since great legends, there's been a lot of great disaster. First one I can really think of, 1989, Bengals fullback Stanley Wilson. He was known at the time. He was battling drug addiction. Somehow they let him slip through the cracks. Like, why didn't you have somebody at his door, in his room? Like, if you're, like, let's just be honest with you. Again, it's no disrespect. It's just the truth. Like, if you ain't 12-stepping, or if you don't understand, like, AA and all that stuff, you got a sponsor. You need somebody at that time in your life while you battle this demon and get this big old gigantic gorilla off your back that's just beating you down every day. You're going to need some help. That's just, I mean, it's okay, man. Gotta have, like, as the wonder years, gotta have a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Where was Stanley Wilson's friends? He was found smoking crack and cocaine in the bathroom on the day of the Super Bowl.
Wonder years?
Well, you know, I just started thinking of friends. You need your friends. And for some reason, dude, did you remember that little, like when I was a little kid, dude, the little brunette chick in the thing, man? Winnie, I think was her name.
That's right. Her name was Winnie.
Dude, man, I was like my first little boy crush, bro. Oh, is she still around?
Oh, I'd have to
Winnie
check that out.
Cooper. I can't believe I remember that. I watched a little family. What was it called? Wonder Years. I watched some Wonder Years. I could remember Winnie Cooper. I can't remember the star's name.
Fred Savage, my little man.
What was his character? I remember Winnie Cooper, which is hilarious. I don't remember the dude's name. Doesn't matter. Somebody will hit me at 901-360-8255. The point is, Stanley Wilson didn't have a friend.
He was Kevin Arnold.
Kevin Arnold?
Yep.
That feels like that's somebody else that's famous. Is there a real Kevin Arnold?
Oh, you probably think Kevin like...
Kevin Spacey? No, he's not the one I was thinking about.
No, Home Alone Kevin. I thought you were thinking about that. But no, Kevin Arnold.
Kevin McCalkey or something?
Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister. Oh, his real name's McCalkey. Anyway, back to the damn Super Bowl. Don't get me off, man. You got my ADD on fire. Stanley Wilson didn't have a friend. He's incapacitated, high on cocaine, really, really bad. And guess what? In a really, really tight game, they lost. Narrowly lost to the 49ers. And poor Stanley never got a chance to get back because he was sentenced to 22 years in prison in California in 1999 after a burglary. Terrible, bro. Remember, go get help. Listen to AJ Brown. I mean, if you sick, do you go to the doctor? No, yeah. If you battle an addiction, you sick, man. Get help. Now, don't forget about Eugene Robinson. Mr. Everything. He was awarded the Bart Starr Award, recognized as the highest character individual in the National Football League. Now, I did tell y'all back then we got down. Them dirty birds were dirty birthday. Lord, Lord, Lord. The highest character doing the NFL was trying to cop a little something. And I get it. Pressure's high. Need a release just to kind of relax. Maybe get a little nap in before the Super Bowl. I know I can't go to sleep without certain things. Sounded like Eugene Robinson couldn't go to sleep without certain things. Offered $50 to what he thought was a prostitute. Turned out to be a cop. Arrested. And guess what? Dirty Birds lost the Super Bowl. By the way, remember Cincinnati, Stanley Wilson's team, high on coke, lost the Super Bowl. And you also have to remember the Barrett Robbins situation. And again, this is one thing I have to put this on the NFL. You just can't have a Super Bowl in San Diego. It's just too close to Tijuana. It's just too close to Tijuana. I know a guy who went down to Tijuana, woke up in Rosarita, no backpack, no money, no shoes, no wallet, no nada. Thank goodness for the kind, like 7 or 8 year old kid who somehow could speak English and convinced his parents to drive me to the border. Thank you. Oh, I mean, like my friends thanking you. But again, Tijuana's a dangerous place, I know. Because my friend went there. Well, Barrett Robbins went there the day of the Super Bowl. Like the night before the Super Bowl. Maybe he went down there and just said, hey, I want to see what the culture's like. I don't know. All I know is I went down there, they asked me if I wanted a Mexican margarita. I said, sure. Lady pulled my hair back, threw a bunch of tequila down my throat, shook my head and kissed me. And then I blacked out and woke up again with nothing in Rosarita, Mexico. Luckily, I wasn't murdered. He's a big dude. I don't think they could get him in the little car, probably. But he did not make it back to the Super Bowl. Their center didn't make it back. Guess what happened? They lost. So I'm watching. I got my feelers out. If anything gets buck wild and it ain't Sin City because that's Vegas, but New Orleans, it's the Big Easy. That's because easy to get anything you want. Making that mean like whatever your vice is, you can find it in the Big Easy.
John, more crystal balls are breaking.
Uh-oh. Who's breaking my balls now?
All right. Shams is reporting Davion Mitchell has been traded to the Miami Heat for P.J. Tucker. Milwaukee is trading Patrick Baldwin Jr. to San Antonio. And within the last 8 minutes, the Atlanta Hawks are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Cavaliers for Karis LeVert and George Niang. 3 second-round picks also.
Damn.
So,
More
yeah,
NBA
it's
trade
happening.
deadline news happening. It's going to continue. We'll keep you abreast. But right now, back to the big
Lil
games.
Wood. Oh,
I got back to a Lil Wood. Yeah, the big games, like these are the disasters. If there is a disaster down in the Big Easy, you got to go the other side. I don't think it's going to be the veteran team, the Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't been here. This will be their 3rd straight season, 4 out of the last 5. Boom, 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 boom. How you like me now? Actually, 5 out of the last 6. They lost one, remember? Yeah, you like me now. Now, Jalen Carter is a prime suspect. I definitely got my eye on Jalen Carter. Don't you think so? Probably going to win tonight Defensive Player of the Year. Don't celebrate, Jalen. But if you hear any news Friday morning that's just anything, make sure you pound the other side. Now, the other thing that you definitely should not be pounding has to do with this story, okay? This is not the kind of pounding you do. This is just wrong. So, you know the Buffalo Bills, right? They're a good little football club, right?
Oh, yeah.
You respect them, right?
Of course.
You got to respect the game, don't you?
Always.
And everybody thinks Bills Mafia is one of the greatest fan bases and a bunch of, crazy wild people, right?
Yep.
Well, there was a couple of couples. So this man marries this woman. And they start a beautiful marriage. And this man's best friend falls in love with the other woman's best friend. You know what I'm saying? So like a couple got married. They each had a best friend. And then a year later, they fell in love because they started hanging out with each other. Next thing you know, that couple got married, okay? We'll fast forward 12 years, okay? 12 years go by. They're living in upstate New York. They're like Bills Mafia through and through. They're at the Baltimore Ravens game. And one of the guys goes, hey, to the other guy's wife. Well, he just like looks down the line and says, oh my gosh, anybody else need to go to the restroom? His buddy said no. His wife said no. But the other dude's wife said, yeah, I got to go. So they went up to go use the restroom, okay? Well, man, all of a sudden, about a half hour goes by, and they're like, damn, bro, what's going on with you're like, dude, you're like, man, what are they doing? I guess they had to stop and get something to eat. Maybe they're doing this, maybe they're doing it. And all of a sudden, security comes down to their seats to get the other couple's possessions. And they were like, what do you mean you're getting their possessions? And they're like, yeah, they've been arrested. What have they been arrested for? They were found having sex in the bathroom. That's a rough place to find out, like, that they've been cheating on you for God knows how long. The problem is why didn't you just go pineapple? You know what I'm saying? Like, swiggity, swingity, swang, swangity, swang. Could have saved yourself a lot of turmoil, and you would have got to see that great fourth quarter. Bills 27, Ravens 25. They missed the fourth quarter of the playoff game. And by the way, can I just be honest with you? Like, why are you doing it in public at a Buffalo Bills game? Like, really? There's a football game going on. Hit up the Howard Johnson afterward. Oh! Actually, they hit up the Howard Johnson at the Buffalo Bills game. Because I think the guy's name was Howard. Don't know his last name, though. By the way, Darian, if you were ever going to name a horse, like if you had a horse in the Kentucky Derby, what would its name be?
Oh, easily. Girl's name from high school. Hope. Hope the horse.
It's not bad. I would go My Face. Do you know why?
No, why?
Coming around the backstretch. Come on! Do you get it now? I'm a genius, brother. And I'm
You're
back
a little
with
genius.
bets. I'm a little genius. We got bets on the
No, you just go for it. It's almost time to get out.
Yeah. I ain't got to pay
Told you
bills.
we've gotten good at this, Joe.
You know what? You've been reading my mind. You like that joke, though?
Yeah, it's a little joke.
It's a little joke. It's a little joke. But yeah, that's just a terrible.
Go ahead. You got maybe a minute or so.
Oh my gosh, somebody just texted me. You can get Tito's and beer in Walgreens and some BC powders for the next day in the Big Easy. Oh, yeah, they're down in New Orleans. Like, dude, down in New Orleans, you can get anything. Hell, down in Florida, you can go into Walgreens and get a bottle of Tito's.
Yep. Just can't do it in Tennessee, Mississippi. I believe you can in Arkansas.
By the way, I'm going to tell you something. That Walgreens that they got down on, they have one right off of Ocean Drive down in Miami.
Yeah.
Talk about saving you some money. Hit up that Walgreens. Pay that, get that Tito's. Good. Those were some crazy hardwood stories tonight again. We got trade deadline fast approaching. We've had the NFL tonight. We're going to find out, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? We're going to get is Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson winning MVP? Who you got?
Should be Lamar.
Man,
Lamar had the better.
I'm hoping, for God's sake, it's Josh Allen, because just the pressure on Lamar Jackson
It won't be,
to
John.
have 3 MVPs and no Super Bowl rings. Everybody blames it. Playoff Lamar is a real thing.
Nope.
I don't want to see that put on that young man.
He will end up being like Peyton Manning. Allow him to do his thing.
I know he's still, 28?
Yes.
28.
And if he wins 3 Super Bowls after 30, he'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
That is true. That is true. But again, there's the ifs, there's the ands, there's the buts, and there's all kinds of things around it. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaden Daniels is coming on strong. You still in the Pat Mahomes era. Josh Allen's still out there. Joe Burrow going to be doing his thing. It ain't getting easier out there.
So win your awards while you can.
Win. Oh, it's Thursday night. We were going to bet, but nah, we good. Get out there, throw some darts. Should I give them a bet?
Go for it. By all means, they're waiting on it.
All right.
You have
Joe.
more than,
I do.
You have a lot of people watching.
Watching?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're watching?
They're
me?
watching you on the
Twitter,
YouTube, on the Twitter,
and
yeah.
Facebook, and all that good
There's
stuff.
a lot of people taking the time out of their day to watch you, Joe.
Well, we taking LA minus the 7.5 against the Warriors tonight. It's going to be a beatdown of epic proportion. The Warriors right now have not looked good. They heard Steve Kerr seemed like he was in a tizzy last night. Steph Curry's like in a little bit of a tizzy. They loved Andrew Wiggins. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
They loved him. He's a great character dude, great locker room dude. Now you're bringing in Jimmy Buckets, a malcontent. Ouch. But again, you team up a bunch of geriatrics, I bet they get a deal on Ensure. Like Steph, Dre, and Jimmy Buckets today, you know they're going to go through at least a case of Ensure tonight. Speaking of the old man, LeBron goes off. Luka's going to be back, baby. Let's go. Lakers minus the 7.5 at 9 o'clock on TND. For Darian Newsom, I'm John Harden. Get out there, make the world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Attention homeowners, it's time to score big with